Yeah, so
right, we are live. Welcome to the stream, guys. I'm joined by none other than royalty in the red pill crypto space, Mr. Miguel, Dollar Cost Crypto, and Charlie of Cultivate Crypto. How are you guys? Doing good?
Great.
Yeah, doing good. Well. Thanks, G, man. I feel really welcome at this royal welcome right now, man.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Well, it's been a little while. It's been a little while since we last did a stream. But it's good to have you guys on again and obviously have a chat with you about what's going on and everything. And of course, we're here because your course, Crypto Mindset, is open again now. And it's going to be open, well, for the next guys have got until Friday at midnight to join the course. And obviously we're going to be talking about that. But I just wanted to sort of get into as well, just sort of some general conversation about the crypto space, what's going on out there, and what you guys think have been coming up. So I was watching the stream that you guys did with Fresh and Fit. I think it was last week. Really cool stream with those guys. And I mean, there's a lot to get into, isn't there? But I mean, fundamentally, it seems like last November, we reached a sort of a low point in terms of the market. And now things are starting to go up again. And I think you anticipate that's going to continue, but then there's going to be another spanner in the works. Is that right? Maybe one of you can talk through how you see things going.
Yeah, man. I mean, pretty much what's going on right now is, since the last time we were on your channel, I mean, pretty much it was the low in the market and stuff. And then from there, we've pretty much been riding. We pretty much bottomed out in the market, and crypto's pretty much pumped about 2 to 3 times off the bottom there. Ethereum hit about like an $800 low. Bitcoin hit about 15,500, and right now we're at what, 28 and $1,900 on Ethereum and stuff. So we've done very well for our students and stuff, and it's been a bear market for everyone except us in the crypto space.
Yeah. That's amazing. So, I mean, guys have been making cash even during the sort of somewhat difficult conditions, which is pretty cool, man. And then, from what I gather, you see things as continuing to go up for the time being now. Is that correct?
Yep, exactly. And we think, there's a bunch of different reasons for it, right? We basically, during the course, we always give like a technical analysis, on-chain data, and fundamental analysis point of view. In terms of looking forward, it's easiest to do that with technical analysis and fundamental analysis. So on the technical side, we're in an uptrend. The pullback that we've had right now is actually less severe on Bitcoin and Ethereum than the one we had in February. And the pump we had after mid-February going into March was essentially really, really nice. Going into from mid-March, I would say. So these types of pullbacks are very natural, and we actually time the course so that you guys can get in during a very advantageous portion of the market, which is essentially between now and May 9th. It can change at any point in terms of, we can rebound at any point. But generally speaking, after we've had a little bit of a pullback after an uptrend like this, usually that opportunity lasts for a couple of weeks. And then we expect the uptrend to continue into June, July. Basically, if it does run a little bit longer, it could run into August or at very latest September. By that point, we think the Fed will have changed. The Federal Reserve of the United States will have changed its tone a little bit on. It'll stop increasing interest rates by that point. And then once you have them change, because they've been increasing at 25 basis points per meeting that they do, the next 3 meetings are on May 3rd, June 14th, and June 26th. So after those 3 dates, once they start shifting their strategy, that shift will cause volatility in all markets, especially crypto and the stock market. So that's where we expect a downturn. But the good news is that'll be a great place to take profits for everybody who's joining this Q2 course. And then in addition to that, we see the next massive buy-in opportunity to be towards the end of this year. So October through January is the next time to dollar cost average in after right now, basically.
Okay, yeah, and you were talking about, obviously we've got the election year coming up next year, so maybe you could talk a bit about how that's going to affect things going into 2024.
You're muted, man.
Yeah. Oh, that's yeah. There you go. So pretty much what's going on right now is with the election cycle coming up. This is a huge distraction for the country. So during usually elections of presidents, as well as either the House of Representatives or the Senate, you usually don't get too many bills passed. So if for some reason the government is extremely negative against crypto, they're not really going to do much during this whole election cycle. So we basically kind of have the government off our backs in 24, which is really, really nice. And it really starts, I would say, kind of late in 23, around September is when stuff really gets cranking. So with all that, right? What happened recently with all the banks in terms of the, you had Silicon Valley Bank go down, and then the Federal Reserve, along with the FDIC, bailed the bank out forcefully. I may add, shouldn't have gone down, but they pumped it up, and then from there, they've essentially created sort of a 1-year kind of loan program for these banks. So as the Federal Reserve keeps increasing the interest rates, it hurts banks really bad. But they've given these banks like basically an unlimited printing sheet. So if they're negative, and like if they ever have like an asset like U.S. Treasuries or like mortgage-backed securities that are really negative, they can just give it to the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve prints them a ton of money, gives a bank their money back, and they can just go back in the market and buy more bonds again. So we've kicked the can down the road essentially to make sure that the election cycle is squeaky clean. We're kind of anticipating a recession in 2025. So we should have probably gotten a little bit earlier, but because of like meddling, money printing, and all this stuff, there's no recession right now, really. Even though we've kind of technically been in a recession if you look at it classically.
Okay, but it hasn't. You think it's going to really bite more in 2025 then?
Yeah. Yeah, way more. Right now, real estate's hurting really bad, and we went from essentially a zero rate, which is about zero rate, to we're at 4.75. So 475 basis point increase, and the Federal Reserve is going to increase the interest rate another 50 to 75 more basis points. So this just makes it more and more expensive to borrow money and stuff, which ends up hurting the people who are buying. I mean, this is why the government recently, Biden is over here trying to subsidize, if you have a good credit score and you're an outstanding citizen and you have good credit rating, we're going to dock you 1 point. We're going to make it 1% more expensive to take a loan, and then we're going to give that money to the people with the lowest scores at 600. And this is the crazy shit that they're trying to do, because they're trying to fill up homes right now, because the amount of people just going to even open houses, like this has declined like 75% across the United States, outside of like Miami or maybe like a really big key city.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is why I think you guys are pretty sure that you reckon Trump's gonna pick up the keys to the White House again in 2024.
Yeah, because like the executive order that Miguel's talking about that the Biden administration just put out, that's like inviting another big short moment, right? Like another crash that we had in 2008. That's like asking for it. So I think one mistake that people made during the I'll just call it the pandemic crash or something, right? When the market moved down in March of 2020, there were a lot of people who said, essentially, right, we should reopen because the economy is going to suffer. And then there's a ton of people who said, oh no, life is, important, blah, blah, blah. You know how many people, get offed themselves basically because of financial situations getting tough? That is extremely serious as well, right? And so the fact that wasn't taken seriously or as seriously as it should have been at the time, right, really did hurt a lot of people. And then having these types of orders coming around the corner, it looks like it might help people, but it actually hurts the whole economy overall. And then long term, everybody's going to suffer. So I think if America knows what's good for it, right, putting Trump in office essentially will be good for the economy, and make sure that those types of executive orders just get taken out again, because if that persists, that's going to be really, really bad in the long term future.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously, you're going to be on a more granular level, working through the strategy as you go along. But I mean, essentially, are you saying that people should sort of start to look at buying now, and then maybe offload, and then rebuy again into
later this year?
Yeah.
Detroit knows his stuff, man. Gosh damn, dude.
Yeah.
Hanging in there. I'm hanging in there.
And it's all about gaining a more of a cash position than we have now, right? Because if we're going towards a more severe recession, then you want to have more assets, more cash, right? So what we're looking for this run up to do, because we already had our run up at the beginning of the year for Bitcoin, it was 80%. For altcoins, it was more multiple X's, some up to 10x, and so our guys were averaging at 2 to 5x on that, and so we have basically that opportunity again, the same level of opportunity between now and that midsummer point, we believe. So if you can gain that cash position, take some profits, have some long-term holdings, right, you'll be able to buy more crypto at the bottom. But then more importantly, right, when there's financial difficulties, you'll have a bigger savings account to ride you through it. And then if you can buy assets when everybody else is having trouble, then you tend to basically win a lot more long term.
Right. Yeah, and it's a little way off yet, but I mean, what do you see happening with crypto in 2025 then? If there's a really major recession, and I guess we're talking about a worldwide recession as well, right? Because generally, right, in America. So I mean, then because you said before that recently people have been putting money into crypto because of the worries around fiat cash. So what do you see happening?
Okay, so basically we're going to end up having a pretty decent 2024. It's going to be really awesome. Of course, it's going to be a huge circus, giant circus with the election. Oh my God. But it's going to be the best distraction on the planet. But the markets are going to be quite tame and happy at the time. We're going to get a decent price increase in Bitcoin and Ethereum. We're looking now, these are projections right here, but we're looking at about maybe $120,000 to $150,000 Bitcoin by 2025. And we're looking at about maybe a $12,000 Ethereum price plus. So we're talking about from these prices, we're talking about almost a 7x increase on Ethereum and basically a 5 times in price on Bitcoin from current prices. So it's huge moves from current prices, which is really nice. But basically what's going to happen is crypto's going to pump up, and then once the election's over, it doesn't matter if it's Trump or Biden, we're going to get some regulation in crypto, and even if it's from regulation that we need, it still will have some negative effects, and that will pretty much put the top in the market, and then we'll start heading down somewhere in Q1 or Q2 of 2025. So
yeah. So I mean, well, I guess it depends who gets in and what how harsh it's doing. But I mean, you were saying even Trump or even if it was Biden or a Democrat, there'd be some regulation. I mean, is that something to worry about going forward, or obviously
I think it's a little lighter if it's Trump, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
it's a little lighter if it's Trump, but basically Gary Gensler and all these people were kind of put in place from the previous administration or the current administration, and all these Trump is very pro-business, so anything that's kind of negatively affecting the bottom line, he's not going to have that into place. But at the same time, he has to put regulations down when it comes to stable coins, because it is directly printing of dollars effectively. So with all this right here, even right now we have no regulation on stablecoins, and people kind of like that for the most part, but you have to put some rules in place, and by putting these rules in place, it's still a negative. So the market's still going to feel like, oh damn, we're getting regulated now, but the industry is going to mature a lot more, and it's going to make it so we can later on get an extremely higher price. But these regulations, we could end up in 2025 like getting a bear market there, and then they allow a spot ETF, and that could just repump us back up. Because with these regulations on stable coins and crypto, and then now we know what it takes to actually have a business in the United States, then from there, they can put a spot ETF, and it's off to the fucking races from there. Because even right now, banks can put 2% of their total money, not your deposits, but their own balance sheets in cryptocurrencies right now. And right now, a lot of people in the investment space really want to put their clients in crypto, but they have no vehicle to put that money into where they can kind of have some control and be a middleman. So the minute you put that spot ETF, spot Bitcoin, spot Ethereum, forget about it. Just billions and billions of dollars are going to come into the crypto space on Bitcoin and Ethereum. When Bitcoin and Ethereum shoot up in price, everything else just rises as well.
What is that? Spot ETFs?
Spot. Oh, okay, so it's basically a mutual fund or an ETF. Basically. But what it does is when you actually buy it, it goes into the market and actually buys physical Bitcoin.
Right. Okay. And are they not? Is that not allowed at the moment? Or do they not exist right now? Oh, okay, okay. Yeah. So that's going to be more like a sort of, for the more like conservative, maybe cautious kind of investor. They think, oh, I can do this and I can get some crypto action without getting fully involved. If that, or not fully involved, like getting super into it. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yep. And it's all a chain of custody and stuff like that, because a lot of people right now don't really know how to hold their crypto at all. So they most of the investment space is basically having a custodian or having a middleman control your finances and money. So with that break right there, then there's a safe way to store that crypto.
Yeah,
and that basically put billions of dollars into it from there. And that basically when that happens, man, wow. That's almost super cycle. I don't even want to say super cycle, but it's almost like a super cycle effect, because it's that much. It's an incredible amount of money can enter the space at that point.
Okay.
It's really,
yeah.
That's basically like one of the events.
And that's on the cards to happen, is it?
Yeah, that's on the card, but with the SEC right now, we have to kind of fire. Right now, Gary Gensler's. It's being put in place for him to get fired, basically.
Okay. Cool. Well, actually, that leads on to a question that the here has, which is, which stable should we store dry powder in?
Yeah, there's a bunch of options, and I would say it's probably better at this point, since we've seen some stable coins have trouble before, right, to have multiple stable coins. But USDC, right, is fully backed, and that's good. Also FDIC insured. So the USDC Circles coin essentially will be a good one to use. Tether has proven that it's basically strong as well. It's had a ton of fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the media about it the last few years, and has had no problems. And they're actually printing the most stable coins in crypto right now, which also is a sign that Ethereum will go back up. So Tether is another good one. And then if you want to choose one more, like TUSD, for example, sometimes having multiple is just good, just in case there is trouble with one, right? Then you don't lose everything. It's the same thing as with exchanges. You don't want all your, place all your money in one exchange or one wallet or one cold storage wallet. Make sure that you have no central points of failure.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I found out only recently, actually. I was naive to this, which was that apparently some stable coins can become untethered from the actual currency, which, because I think there was because I've got some stuff in some stable coins, and there was some turbulence in the market, and then all of a sudden people were saying, oh, well, actually the value of what you've got may not actually be tethered now to the value of the dollar. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't realize that. So that's something people need to be aware of, right?
Technically, all these coins can unpeg in price, but there's kind of like basically USDC and Tether are the safest ones in quotation, right? But the coins that you were talking about were something called algorithmic stable coins, which were they're coins that are meant to unpeg sometimes and repeg, and there's kind of like a game with it and stuff. And these are the most dangerous coins, and these are like the things with Luna that was really pushed out, like at the tail end of 2021. I mean, you couldn't get away from like you have to use UST, and most people were doing it because they were able to get a really decent like rate of return on a large amount of money and stuff. Charlie, do you still remember what rates they were paying back in the day? Was it 8% or 10%? I can't remember what it was on stables anymore. On UST.
Oh, okay, yeah, it was 20%.
20, yeah. So imagine that. You're just holding cash and stuff. You could have been literally $100 million, $10 million, $1 million, earning 20%. And a lot of people did earn it for a good year and a half plus on that kind of level of interest. And basically, what happened there is like everyone was like piling in on that trade in terms of like everyone was storing their dry powder there. So, but what ended up happening is that it was costing them so much money to pay out that 20% a year on that capital. Eventually, at some point, it was going to break, basically. So, and it was really like the collapse of Three Arrows Capital that kind of started the whole turn down in the market, because then people were like, all right, I need to hold my cash. And then they were just seeing, and from there, it just became this whole game of like people in the crypto industry were trying to knock down certain players to short them and to make a ton of money, basically. Yeah.
But all of our guys took profits on Luna that we told to. Right. And then we got a lot of our guys out of Celsius. None of our guys had any relations to FTX for the most part. And we helped, steer a lot of people around, getting just nuked by the market, because 2022 was a hell of a year, lots of landmines. And yeah, a lot of the guys who are taking the crypto mindset course, pretty much everybody was getting out of that mostly unscathed, which was
absolutely. Which is why actually it's valuable to work with or to take the course regardless of where the market's going, because if the market's going down, you need the help in order to avoid the pitfalls, and if the market's going up, you need the best advice in terms of where to put the money.
Yeah, I mean, we did actually incredibly well. I mean, anyone, I wouldn't say we ever had competition, but if we had any competition, they all died.
Yeah.
But I mean, they just left and died, or got their total communities completely and utterly nuked and destroyed. We were like, basically most people were kind of done making money in the crypto space in November of 2021, maybe December. We were still making lots of gains in money and stuff up until like March of 2022, basically. So after that point, of course, the market started correcting. We guided students. We sold Luna at like $84. Oh, I'm sorry, not Luna. Forgive me. No, that was Luna. Yeah, there's so many of these shit coins. Oh my god. We started seeing a lot of smoke on a lot of the industry players. So even in November, we had told students to sell Celsius at $5 to get out of the platform. 2021. None of our guys were in Voyager. I never really liked FTX that much, but we had to have it as an option to buy crypto, because you kind of the way we kind of teach our students is we treat these exchanges like we're spinning plates. You have as many as possible to give you options to buy, because I mean, just recently I said this on the live stream. I used to be able to instantly get about $100,000 a day into the crypto space through Coinbase, and they throttled me down to $5,000.
Right,
and they cost me. That throttling cost me a lot of money. I mean, it seriously did. It pretty much cost me like $800,000 in gains I would have got from investing into Hex and a couple other coins. I still ended up DCAing a really good chunk of dry powder, but that's kind of the opportunity cost there, where like but that's the bonus of having multiple exchanges. Basically, is just boom here, boom there, boom there, boom there, and you're able to just onboard. So if they don't allow you there, you got another option, and you got another option, but you always take custody of your coins. You always, right. It's the same thing with the red pill philosophy. You take responsibility for your actions. You're a red pill male. You gotta be really thorough and really think through what you're trying to do in your actions.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a few other questions here about different things. So Bandit Credit is saying Pulse Chain 100 times or 100x or 1000x in 2025.
Well, let's see. Probably I would. It's between 100 and 1000x, honestly, if with Pulse Chain there. So what it means by x's is the amount, like for every $1 you put in, you can make 100 times on your money. You can make So if I invest $100 into a protocol, I'll make $100, or I'll make $1,000 on a dollar. So on something like Hex, I have not on all the money, but on a good portion of capital that I invested into Hex, I turned every dollar that I invested into $10,000.
Right.
So very good day on that investment. But
not a bad day at the office.
That's right. So most L1s, when in a bull market, they typically do somewhere between 100. They do about 100x. So if you like something like Phantom, for example, it bottomed out at 3 cents, and then at the peak of the market, it was $3 and some change. So we're talking about, you put $1 million, or anything that, or 100,000 or 10,000, you made a lot of money from it, right?
Yeah.
But because Pulse Chain, there's going to be something called a lot of validators, and people are going to be locking up a lot of coins, and it's going to be yield farmed, and it's going to be really explosive and stuff. This one has the chance of actually going at least 300 times on your money, at least. There isn't any major holdups in terms of it launches very late or something like that, but it should do extremely well with the bull market. And actually, and to tell you the truth, because the community is so crazy, my community, and the Hexicans, I mean, this coin can actually keep performing in the first half of the bear market. That's actually something I've been saying since 2021, basically.
Right.
That everything's dead, and the ecosystem is so intact and insulated that it could keep pumping off of its own inertia for 6 months plus into a bear market, that it could. There's something I call kind of like an imploding star, or a galaxy star, or something like that, where basically it's the last call for alcohol, the last bar on the strip and stuff. where you can still get a drink. So every degenerate motherfucker is is over there trying to make some change, and it could keep that ecosystem pumping for quite a while.
Well, indeed. I mean, so he's asking, what do you think about Richard Hart, brother?
Oh, Richard Hart's brother. Yeah. Yeah, total. I don't think so. It's not real. There's some guy who's got a mental. There's this crazy guy who's kind of off his meds and stuff. That he's like saying he's Richard Hart's brother, and he stole money from him. It's weird. It's what happens when you make a lot of money, or like you get really famous or something like that. Like you get crazies. You know, you get people. Yeah.
That is mental. That's insane. It's just mental how people spend their time online, isn't it? The kind of weird fantasies and stuff they come up with. But so what about? Be good to talk about the big two, Bitcoin and Ethereum. You were saying that Ethereum staking is now really coming into fruition, or is going to be coming into fruition. Right. So maybe you could talk a bit about that, and also just what you see for the two. Well, I guess we've sort of covered it already, but I mean, how the two coins are performing and what you see going forward for them. I mean, if you are super, if you're a boomer like me, and it's just like, right, let's just be safe. Is now Bitcoin and Ethereum at the moment, and then sell a bit later on, or just keep piling it in, or and how do you see it going over the next couple of years?
I mean, you go ahead, Charlie.
There's a couple different principles that we basically talk about here with. And we'll get to all that. But basically, the couple principles that we say here are, Bitcoin is under $35,000, right? You can buy as much Ethereum as you want. Once Bitcoin goes over $35,000, Ethereum will also be at a pretty high level at that point. So after we get past $35,000, tends to be an area where people will start looking towards taking profits. And so, buy Ethereum while Bitcoin's under 35. Once Bitcoin's above, I would say 44,000, right? Start looking towards taking profits at that point, because Ethereum actually had its bear market low in June, whereas Bitcoin had it in December. And that's never happened in the cryptocurrency space before, where Bitcoin wasn't the main token essentially to make a low, because Ethereum's the number 2, right? And we've never had the number 2 make a low first. And so that the reason why that is because Ethereum does allow you to unstake your Ethereum again. So after you take your profits on Ethereum, let's say at when Bitcoin's above 44,000, we come back down for the second half of the year. Now the Ethereum that you are holding during that period of time, if you didn't sell at all, and also some of the Ethereum that you're holding at the for the long term from the beginning of next year. Then if you want to stake it, you can, right? That's the option now. On April 12th, the Shanghai update for Ethereum went live. And essentially what that means is if you have 32 Ethereum, right, you can stake it and unstake it, meaning you can go in, go out, and you get roughly 4 or 5% yield per year. So that's nice. It's better than most people see in the stock market. Goldman Sachs has been on a really good one with Ethereum. Here, they're kind of quietly looking to adopt it. But of course, they have to have a little bit more clarity with the SEC regulation first. So I would say once we get into 2024, then later, maybe in 2024, you might start seeing Goldman Sachs and companies like that start adopting Ethereum a little bit more heavily, because they can stake and unstake. So I think it was Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan, or maybe it was researchers at JP Morgan. They basically said, now that Ethereum can unstake, it's actually a very bullish thing for Ethereum, because, there's going to be more money that wants to come in now that they can take it back out. Now that's for the big money. For other people, if you don't have 32 Ethereum, right, you could stake in a pool. There's a place called Rocket Pool, which you could do that. I don't necessarily recommend that. You don't need to try to pick up that extra few percent, right? By dollar costing in at the right areas, and then taking profits at the right areas as well. You'll be able to compound more Ethereum that way than through staking anyway, because you got a little bit of counterparty risk there. But in addition, the Rocket Pool token, it's RPL, is below $50 right now. And that one, I believe, if we have a good run, like we're expecting into the summer, will go above 100, 150. So it'll make a pretty good run. And because it is a platform that helps you to stake through Coinbase for the average person, they're going to have a lot of exposure as well. So there's a lot of really good stuff happening in Ethereum, and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Good stuff. Good stuff. In terms of other coins, at the moment, is there anything that you would recommend guys have a look at right now? And is there anything that people should be wary of that's maybe getting talked up at the moment?
Okay, so besides the big two, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, Hex Jesus here, obviously. So I think Hex is a great coin to get into right now. I think Rocket Pool is, like Charlie was saying, a decent coin to look into right now as well. Right now is a great time to get into something like Phantom. You really want to buy the basics, the L1s, right? Cardano wouldn't be a terrible idea. Phantom, because the market hasn't completely recovered just yet. We haven't had like a gigantic influx of the brand new tokens. There's a token that I think we're basically the only people talking about this one. It's called the Ton Network or Ton token. It is Telegram. Telegram has an actual cryptocurrency now. A lot of people don't know that.
Wow.
And it because it's so new right now, it hasn't really popped. It's basically stayed around with that $2 mark, basically. So I'll double check that for you in like 1 second. Let's see. It is currently, right now it's $2.30. It's basically been fluctuating between $1.50 to $2.50 for like this entire time for almost like 4 or 5 months now. So the Ton token, it's going to Telegram is going to have a massive year, this massive bull run. It's going to be a big winner. I think it's really going to start displacing a little bit of Discord, because Discord has been proven to be pretty unsafe for crypto projects. I don't know why so many crypto projects use Discord. I mean, if you saw what happened with Andrew Tate recently, there were WhatsApp messages, Telegram messages, Instagram messages, Facebook messages, text message, anything except, guess what? Telegram.
Really?
Yes. It's the safest place. It's because it's still encrypted. Like literally, I remember Facebook buying WhatsApp for like an incredible amount of money, and it had the highest. WhatsApp had the highest level of security and stuff, end-to-end encryption. How did the government get transcripts of all these WhatsApp messages?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like even your iPhone could be hacked. Like the FBI, the CIA were asking for Apple a couple of years ago for permission, but the CIA and the FBI could already hack into your iPhone. They just wanted Apple to kowtow and open it up so that way they can start doing that legally instead of illegally opening your phone with technology they have. So I mean, Telegram is really one of the last Mohicans where you can safely, have conversations and stuff and secret messages and stuff, especially for crypto projects if they're being persecuted. So they're launching a lot of stuff in the future, and I think it's these coins like Phantom has essentially done a major. It's coming up with a major upgrade. The Ethereum Foundation is like giving money to the Phantom Foundation to build out something, because the Ethereum Foundation can't build out this huge upgrade that the Phantom Foundation can, because the Phantom Foundation has these crazy developers. And that upgrade that they're going to do could literally increase the speed of Ethereum by like 20, 30x, 40x. Right. It is that significant. And we're more than likely going to have that upgrade rolling out next year for Phantom. And then once that happens, it gets onboarded onto Ethereum. Boom. More throughput, more power. And we're going to have a lot of crazy stuff happening. But just focusing on those, I mean, believe it or not, I can't believe I'm saying this, but you probably could buy Dogecoin and do pretty good too. I mean, me and Charlie have been some of the people saying this since 21 as well, right? We've been saying that at some point Elon Musk is going to implement tipping on Twitter through Bitcoin and Dogecoin. But what's going to happen is the Bitcoin guys are going to be really happy. This is going to be a really big event. Woo! I'm tweeting out here now. I can get tipped in Bitcoin. But what's going to happen is it's going to congest the Bitcoin network.
Right.
And then you're going to start like, oh no, Bitcoin's expensive again. $300 transactions or $50 transactions or $25 transactions. Then from there, what's going to happen? People are going to move over to Dogecoin, and Dogecoin basically runs on Litecoin, and Litecoin has the same of throughput as Ethereum, but because there's nothing on Litecoin, it can actually do these transactions relatively well. I think for a good portion of time. At some point, it will get bogged down, but a lot of people are probably, and this is really going to help the Dogecoin price, which will help the Shiba Inu price, which will help the Pepe price and stuff. So there's now in the portfolio, you could actually have a a allocation to meme coins, which is I can't believe I'm saying that right now, but you can.
Is that definitely going to happen with Twitter then, or is that just
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. And you're saying that Bitcoin, it will get jammed up because so many people will be using Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's going to.
It's going to implement. Yeah, it's going to implement so much. Because the Bitcoin networks isn't really used much other than just sending the coins back and forth. You really can't put much things on there. It's basically, if I remember correctly, it's 4 times slower than Ethereum, if I remember correctly, in terms of throughput. Because Litecoin is 4 times faster than Bitcoin, and Litecoin and Ethereum have the same amount of transactions per block. So basically, just doing some simple math here, Bitcoin is 4 times slower than Ethereum. So it doesn't take much transactions for it to get filled up pretty quickly and getting the fees. But the Bitcoin, it's great news because they'll pump Bitcoin. At the end of the day, what we care about is the price of the token. So which is good.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, do you ever see a time when ETH will overtake Bitcoin? Given that it sounds like the technology is pretty pumping over there. You
want to answer this one, Charlie?
Yeah, we can share the answer or whatever. But no, I think Ethereum will massively, outpace Bitcoin during the rest of this bull market. It'll continue to make more profits as well. But in terms of market cap, which you're mentioning there, Ethereum flipping Bitcoin, I think is kind of inevitable during the bull market. And the main evidence for that is the fact that Ethereum did have its bear market low earlier, 6 months earlier than Bitcoin. That's never happened before. And so it's very possible that, because Bitcoin's always been the number 1 in market cap, we've never had it flipped before. It's very, very possible that Ethereum will do so. Now, will that last? That's the question, right? And how will that change the dynamics of the market? We're going to be talking about that in the course very, very deeply. That's something that, in terms of how it changes the dynamics at the bottom of the market, right? We talked about basically over the last 1 year. And in terms of how it's going to affect the market at the top, we're going to go into that deeply into the course because that's a pretty deep subject there. But then in terms of, Bitcoin's dominance over the market, that will also decline. It's currently about, I think, 47% of the market, or 44 to 47% of all crypto market cap is based on Bitcoin. And that should reduce below 30% during this bull market. And a lot of people will be like, okay, is that good or is that bad? Well, every time Bitcoin declines in dominance, it increases in price, and everything else in crypto increases in price much more as well, right? With the altcoins and stuff. So actually Bitcoin is the biggest trusted coin. So it's good that it's dominating the market, but it doesn't need to be number 1. It can be number 2 and the market's still going to be fine. It can be, number 2, oscillating between number 2 and number 1, the market's going to be fine. So all that really matters is that it's kind of like a cascading effect in terms of like a waterfall effect where money trickles down to the other projects based on the Bitcoiners' profits. I think somebody has a little reverb, by the way.
So again,
there's some reverb on the speaker.
It's just a speaker story.
What's that? Say again?
Oh, no. We're just getting some reverb over there.
I think we might be better now.
Oh, okay. What about what's this one here? It says, I want to get the course through Red Pill Lions. Okay, so that's an NFT, isn't it? The NFT project. Buy with ETH. How? I need a wallet address to send it to. Well, I don't know. Obviously, you have an email to do so. What do you think about this one?
Yeah. So basically, anybody who wants to get into the Crypto Mindset course, and you're watching the channel right now, the link is in the description as well as the comment section there. So definitely press that link and go through there if you want to pay with your credit card and other areas. If you want to pay in crypto, what you need to do is you need to send us an email, support@cultivatecrypto.com. The reason for that is pretty much there are not a lot of great reliable ways to accept crypto on the website and give our affiliates basically credit for that. So what you should do is go support@cultivatecrypto.com, send us an email in the description section, say, you heard about us from Troy's channel and that you would like to pay in Bitcoin or Ethereum. We'll give you a 15% discount for that. We'll send you a link to pay. It is called Coinbase Commerce is where we do it, but you don't have to KYC with them. You just give us minimal information in terms of how to contact you so we can give you the course and everything. And it's $847.45 if you do that. We'll make sure that Troy basically gets the credit for that, because we want to make sure that people who introduce you guys to us basically get credit for that.
Yeah, good stuff. So yeah, that's the link there. If you're paying with fiat currency, if you're paying with your credit card or whatever, and as Charlie's just said, drop the guys an email if you want to pay by crypto, and just mention my name so that I get I get credited for that. But yeah, that's really cool. And he's saying, looking forward to getting on board.
There you go.
Good stuff. So NFTs, I don't know whether you want to say anything about NFTs, but what I didn't know, but which I found out from your Fresh and Fit appearance, is that Trump's got NFTs. That's an interesting development.
Yeah, man, it is really interesting. I mean, basically, that's why I'm saying he's a lot more crypto friendly than people give him credit for. I mean, he just launched it. So at the very least, he's not going to come out with really strict stuff against NFTs and stuff. And the thing is that there's an entire sector called financial NFTs, which are things that are linked. Like you can have an NFT that's gives you a proportional payment in a pool and earn money and dividends off that. So imagine like everyone pulled together $1 million, and then the DAO went into the market and started earning interest off that. If there was 100 NFTs and you own one of the NFTs, you would be paid 1% of the income it generates perpetually as it keeps generating income, taking profit. Let's just say the $1 million grows to $15 million, and we all vote on it. All 100 of the NFT holders vote on it and say, yeah, let's take 15%. Let's take a 50% profit on that. Cool. $7.5 million would be distributed to the 100 owners of the thing in whatever it ends up being decided. So this stuff is coming right now. Obviously, most of the NFT guys are turbo dorks and lamos. They're not really doing that. I mean, but that was $1 billion a game I just gave right there. But there's a lot of this stuff we're gonna at some point we're gonna end up having real estate that's fractionalized. Like we'll be able to buy $1 million property that has 10,000 pieces of NFTs, and each NFT owns a fraction of a percent of the property and stuff, and then you are when rents are paid and it earns a dividend or something. Let's just say on $1 million property, maybe you're getting paid maybe $6,000, $8,000, a month or something in profits. Maybe a little bit more than that, maybe $50,000. All that for every little NFT that you own, it pays you proportional in USDT or USDC every month, and then now you generate income. I mean, this is going to be a pretty big sector in the NFT sector. It could happen later in 24, 25, but it's more than likely going to be at the end of the decade. Because I think a lot of the TradFi stuff comes out in like 27 to 29 is that bull market there. That's when we're going to get a lot of TradFi stuff. Some of the OG V1 coins are going to do really well. I think Aave, maybe Chainlink, if it hasn't imploded, Chainlink will do pretty well. I think Chainlink is a terrible freaking coin. Absolute scourge on the earth. Fuck those guys. I've said this is one of the earliest things I've ever said in a course. I think literally in the first course we ever did, Charlie, in September of 2020. I said if this thing ever went to shit, it's because Chainlink for some reason gave the wrong prices to the bots or something like that, and then boom, that would instant liquidate people and crash the market and stuff. It's a bit of a conspiracy theory, but basically the one thing I don't like right now I do like Chainlink, but I don't like how everything is reliant on Chainlink. It's a little preposterous, actually. It's a little crazy that we have absolutely zero competition at all. For a moment, we had
not zero. There's banned, but all the competition that's ever tried to go against it failed miserably.
I mean, you would think we would have like a Pepsi, because like look, usually in the world, there's always it's called the Coke and Pepsi model, which is you have Apple and you have Google, right?
Yeah.
You have Ford, GM. You got Tesla, and it's going to be whatever the second competitor is. But you always have these like 1 and 2, like the first and second place winners with all the market share, and you got a couple of runs third and fourth place, right? Well, there's really not even a second place really, because like Chainlink controls like 95% of the market. It's like that dominant and stuff. It's a complete Standard Oil monopoly basically, and the tokenomics are total trash for that token. They basically adjust out of, like, I think at the top of the market, they finally, like, they had been secretly dumping the token to build out corporate offices around the entire world while people were buying the token. This is why we told our students really early on not to buy that hunk of shit. I'm a little passionate about this one because it really really irks me a little bit, and it wasn't doing very well, and it doesn't have much tokenomics or anything like that. It's basically just a useless utility token. Doesn't do damn near anything at all, and no sharing of revenue, nothing, no fees. The voting, like, if you own it, like, good luck trying to vote on anything. You wouldn't even win it at all. It's completely a farce in democracy, like, totally useless token. But in the next cycle, at the end of the decade and stuff, it actually will probably end up having its own run because a lot of TradFi crypto coins are going to have a nice run because TradFi is going to be in the space at that point, and that's when they might eventually add real incentives to tokens like Uniswap token and maybe Synthetics does really well, and like Aave and Chainlink, these 4 tokens, which are like bedrock tokens for like the Ethereum ecosystem and stuff. So those will do pretty well at that point, and everything pumps anyway with the market and stuff, but it won't really outperform Bitcoin or Ethereum, basically. So
yeah, fair enough. And Tom is saying, awesome, much appreciated. Can't wait to learn from you guys' expertise. So he's joined up as we speak, which is great news. What about this one? If China attacks Taiwan, will there be a new bear market? I mean,
well. I mean, at one point, then the Fire Nation attacked, right? So with China, so basically, yeah, we'd have a temporary crash in the market, but I think we'd rebound back up. Basically, go ahead.
Look at Russia invading Ukraine last year, right? What was a bigger factor in the downtrend of crypto last year, right? You could clearly see it was the Fed raising interest rates because when Russia attacked Ukraine in February of last year, the market actually went up for a couple of months there into May, basically. So, it'll have different effects on the market, but yeah, I definitely agree with DCC there. It'll probably be somewhat temporary unless, it lines up essentially with us going into a recession. If you get a double whammy, like going into a recession and then like a large scale global war starting at that time, then yeah, of course, that's going to push the market down quite a lot at that point. Yeah. So it really depends on multiple dynamics, not just one.
Yeah, fair enough. I see you put something in there, Miguel. Did you want to put that on screen?
In 1 minute, I guess we'll talk a little about Taiwan, and I wanted to show you guys the Trump NFTs so you guys can check them out. I actually think they're a really good play, actually. Yeah. Here, I'll just show them right now then. Yeah, this is the Trump NFT coins right now. Basically, the cheapest one you could buy right now is like 13% of Ethereum.
That's
which
amazing.
Is yeah, dude, it's crazy. It's like this is basically like 200 to like this is about 200 to about, I would say, $190 for a card. I think this is the V2, I think, if I remember correctly.
That's great.
Yeah, but basically you want to buy the first version of the cards and stuff because they've just released a V2, which is like the secondary like cycle stuff. So it's kind of like Pokemon cards. You want to buy the original OG cards first, right? Yeah. So if I were looking down here, right, let me scroll back up right here. Status, rarity, quantity. Yeah, doing this live, you guys. But basically, these are going to appreciate pretty well and stuff because especially so right now Trump's not in office right now, but he's starting to do interviews again. He just did one with the Nelk boys and stuff. Very, very good interview to watch and stuff. He said pretty much, if Taiwan doesn't give us some cash to defend their ass, we're going to let China take them, basically. But yeah, but we're going to rug the. He's like pretty much he was inferring that we're going to basically take the entire chip manufacturing plants out of Taiwan forcefully, and move them back to wherever since they stay out of Chinese hands. And then if they want to take Taiwan, they basically will take it, but it's going to cost them a lot, basically. Or we'll defend Taiwan, but Taiwan's going to have to start paying some of our military bases and budgets there and stuff since we're keeping them from getting waxed, basically, which is quite an interesting sort of thing there. So, yeah. So basically, I think it's a good idea for people. If I think it really is just pick up one of these or just two of these or something like that. I think this is I think it really is like a decent play right here because you're paying 13% of an Ethereum for it. It's about $242 for one of these, but you can end up flipping this for over an Ethereum plus. So as Trump is like competing against Biden and stuff, and we actually have the debates, these are going to do significantly well because people are going to be super patriotic and wow, holy crap, I can't believe Trump's in office and stuff. Fuck Biden, this shit's amazing. The fervor and stuff, like Trump NFT cards are incredible, and then normal guys as well as crypto guys with a lot of cash are just going to buy these up like crazy, and the price will do fairly well, I believe.
Do you think? Do you know what one of them might? I mean, it's a piece of string, I guess, but do you know what you might expect one to get to?
1 to 3 Ethereum. 1 to 3 Ethereum.
Right.
Yeah,
with a lot of projects in the last bull market.
Yeah, it can go up to a lot, and if there's any person there's only so much fundamentals you can put on, because it's just a picture. This is nothing. It's got no fundamentals or anything behind it. But if there's any time a JPEG could go to that, it's a Trump NFT. These came out originally for about $100 a piece, and at one point these were about $800.
Right.
It came down now. They've calmed down and stuff because they've released a second amount of cards and stuff like that. But imagine this: you paid $100, you got a card. Even after all the stuff that's happened, it's still worth 2.4 times more money than you paid for it. So it protects you. So literally buying Trump NFT cards was a giant inflation hedge.
Yeah,
Protector of your capital. Only in crypto, man. Only crypto can you buy some. You can buy Trump wearing a fucking cowboy hat and make a ton of money.
What a crazy world we live in. What about what about Biden? What about Biden? Anything in the news for that?
Yeah, if you want to create a weekend at Bernie's NFT for that might sell. But
good stuff. Good stuff. Well, look. Why don't you? Well, actually, I did have one sort of quick, more generalized question, which is obviously you guys have been referred to as the sort of the crypto guys of the red pill or whatever, and obviously you associate with all of the guys, Fresh and Fit, I think Jay Waller, Rollo, etc.
Sure.
But why is it? Do you, in your words, why do you think so many guys who are affiliated with red pill and all of those kind of ideas are also get into crypto?
A lot of self-responsibility, in my opinion, and a lot of people who want self-sovereignty, right? So it's freedom and responsibility, because crypto is the ultimate freedom, but it also is the ultimate responsibility. What I mean by that is for freedom, right? It is some of the only money in the world that you can control and you alone control, right? You don't have to trust anybody for it. You have to trust the network, but the network is decentralized, so therefore it's trustless, right? Versus our normal system that we have now is all centralized, so you have to trust the government, you have to trust a bank, you have to trust somebody who doesn't have your best interest at heart, right? So that right there is very libertarian, and a lot of libertarian ideals across a lot of what's happening in the red pill and a lot of those types of people. And in terms of self-responsibility, right? I would say you got to treat crypto like you are your own bank. So if you have $1,000 in there, you can treat it, with that however much security you need for $1,000. But if you have $1 million in crypto, right, you start having to up your security how a bank would, right, in that regard, at least in terms of like a credit union or like an individual person, right? So you want to take it very seriously, and I think a lot of people in the red pill really understand that. And a lot of the ideology is pretty much exactly the same.
Yeah, that's really what I was getting at, because I think that the notion of personal freedom and as you say, at the same time taking responsibility for yourself, those are the two key things really. But I mean, my sort of, I think probably like most of us, my key interest in it is, right, I want something that's kind of off grid that I control, but I also want to have the opportunity to make a ton of money into the bargain as well. So it's definitely covering those bases.
Yep. There's a reason we call ourselves the red pill of finance. Truly,
Yes.
There's a reason that everyone does trust us on the red pill is because we're genuine guys. We literally came up from the red pill itself and stuff.
Yeah.
And we created this product and we helped a ton of people out before. It was just me and Charlie. It was just me and Charlie for a long time, just doing these courses in the red pill. And over time, we just talked to more and more people. People saw what we were doing, and people met us in real life and just saw that we were real dudes and stuff like that. And Charlie helped Myron and Fresh out really early on and stuff like that. We've helped Rolo out. I've helped Waller out with crypto, Sterling. I mean, just about everybody in the crypto space. Donovan. I mean, you as well, you Troy and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody who's anybody in the crypto space we've worked with, or we've done a consultation with, or we've kept them from getting ripped off. That's a big one. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of NFT scammers and stuff during the last bull market that were trying to play a lot of the guys in the red pill for chumps. And I'm really happy to say that we helped a lot of guys not get ripped off, which is a big testament to us, because if you saw it, every other influencer during that last bull market that wasn't in the red pill space got fleeced. Bad NFT launches, sponsored by FTX, Voyager. I mean, everything under the sun. Like you see how magically the red pill missed all that negative.
Yeah.
It was your boys.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well, look. So basically, the course is open now for enrollments. Guys have got until Friday to get in. So why don't you just talk us through, what they can expect? And obviously, I know that you work with guys at different levels as well. So somebody might be watching this; they're a complete beginner, they don't know anything about it. They're going to get catered for, but also the more advanced guys as well, right? So what can people expect when they get in?
Yeah, definitely.
Go ahead, Charlie.
Yeah, I'll just describe the process from basically purchasing all the way through, right? So let's say you're a person who's just jumping in for the first time into the course. You go over into the chat there in the description. You hit the link for Troy. It goes over to cultivatecrypto.com. There's Troy's name should be on the webpage there. Then you press purchase, right? Once you've purchased it, you'll get an email within 24 hours from Charlie at cultivatecrypto.com, which will basically give you a Telegram link. So then you press the link, you get into our Telegram, boom, you're in the course. Congratulations. Make sure to do that, right, ASAP, so that you make sure that you get in. And then once you're in, there's a lot of people to network with. There's a lot of chat going on. So everybody, we usually have somewhere between, we have like quarter on quarter, 30% people returning. And, a lot of the times we have over 60% of returnees as well over the long term, right? So we have a lot of people in there who will help you if you ask questions, and they'll help you troubleshoot stuff. So we got a really good community to help you support there. So whatever level of crypto you are when you come in, right, somebody in the community will be at that level, and then some people in the community will be above that level to all help you out as a community. So we do that, and then we drop 5 pre-recorded webinars between now and May 6th. May 6th is where we have the first live webinar. So over the next 2 weeks, you'll basically have enough time to review some stuff, open up exchanges, get new wallets, increase your security, whatever it is that you might need to improve for basic best practices throughout those first 5 pre-recorded webinars. You'll be able to improve that. Then on top of that, once we get into May 6th at 10 p.m. Eastern, we'll have our first webinar. We have our webinar every single day at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do have some off days so that you can review in between there, but the webinars will finish around May 20th and 21st. We might extend or shift schedule a little bit if need be, if we need you guys to have more time to review, or if a new coin comes out at that time, we need to have you guys focus on that. We might push that out a little bit, but that's generally what to expect with the course. The 20 webinars are all different subjects. Each subject is tackled within about an hour to an hour and a half of each live webinar, and they are recorded so that you can come back in a few days or whatever and review that, or watch it if you missed it. If you're out on the road on your job or something, you came back, then you can watch it again there, and you can review that throughout the entire quarter, actually throughout the entire year. But yeah, about 1 hour of each webinar is the main subject. Then we ask questions on that subject, and that's the 2 hours of recorded webinar that we have. Then we have 1 to 2 hours of Q&A after every single webinar to make sure that we get everybody's questions answered, because we have several hundred people always jumping in the course. And so we want to make sure everybody has an opportunity, whether you're new to crypto, experienced with crypto, to make sure that you can ask us a question while you're there. So there's a lot of opportunity. And then there's a lot of opportunity to see that on the recording. The last thing we do is after the webinars finish in May, we'll do flash webinars throughout the quarter, which means just webinars that pop up based on market conditions when we need to let you know something to make a move, take profits, or to invest in something new. We'll basically do a flash webinar there. We'll tell you a couple days in advance, hey, let's jump on a webinar, and we'll continue to support you throughout the quarter. So yeah, we're really looking forward to helping everybody out through that process. And if you have any issues, right, like you bought the course and you're not receiving an email or something, then send an email again to support@cultivatecrypto.com for any troubleshooting issues, and we'll help you out within 24 hours.
Great stuff. Awesome. Did you have anything to add on to that, Miguel?
Yeah, here's like a common question that we always get as well. Like, Miguel, what's like the minimum amount of money that I need to invest into crypto? All you need is like $1,000. That's it. Like, you don't even like it's just the need to learn and stuff like that. Like, we usually have two people. We have a guy who just is like, hey, I just bought the course, but I only have $1,000. Is that enough? That's perfectly enough capital to work from there. But then you have to keep dollar cost averaging over time and stuff. And then you have another guy who's got a lot of capital, and they're about to do all these crazy moves, and they don't know what they're doing. So it really is about educating yourself, getting to know and stuff. We have a lot. We've got kids that are 16 years old. We have professionals. We have like taught every age group, both men and women and stuff like that, about cryptocurrencies, and we've done it really successfully. It is the certain thing is like another question we get a lot, right, Miguel? I'm a trucker. I'm on the road a lot. I'm at work and stuff. Like, am I going to be missing this course? No, you can actually listen to the whole thing on your phone, on your cell phone. So all you need is a cell phone, a tablet, or however you can listen to it. And on top of that, if you ever miss anything, it's all pre-recorded and stuff. Obviously, we want you to be there as much live as you can so we can answer your questions. And it's really bespoke. Like, we really take care of our guys. Like, the last course we did, normally our courses are once every 3 months. This one, we hadn't run a course. This is the first one in 6 months. Because we wanted to make sure that our guys got taken care of to the nth degree. Our guys bought the bottom. We made sure everyone bought the right coins. We made sure that everybody got taught up really well, and we made like a Spartan class. And these guys are have made quite a bit of money now and are in a different position. And this is kind of the power of this thing. Everywhere else in the world is losing money, and we're making money. And then with all this inflation, all this crazy, if we go into a recession, we're going to have the capital to buy houses cash. We're going to have the capital to get whatever you want. Hopefully you spend it responsibly, not just on supercars and sports cars. I might spend it on a couple cigars here and there, or a Rolex or here or there. But like, with what's going on in the world, BlackRock and all these major corporations are buying up all the real estate in America. And what's going to happen is it's becoming a renter's nation. So if you're a red pill man, you want to put yourself into the position where you are an actual landowner, you own your property outright. There's nothing anyone could do from you. And then from there, at that base, you're in a really powerful, you kind of have fuck you money at that point when you have your property. I mean, there's a really good clip from, I think, The Gambler, where they're asking is like, $2.5 million. You buy your house, you make sure it has a 25-year roof on it and stuff, and you invest, I would say, in some cryptocurrencies that pay that can appreciate over time, and then you're in that kind of fuck you position where no one can tell you. You got savings, you've got crypto, you got your stocks, and you got a paid off house. Who the hell is going to stop you at that point? You can do anything. You can take risks. You can build a business because you have a powerful base to start from and stuff. And that's where we try to help people grow towards, as well as send higher into whatever they want to do in their life.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, it's been a great show, guys. Thanks for coming on. Good to catch up as always. I would highly encourage everyone watching this to get into the course because these dudes are they are A players, the A players in this space. And you reeled off a list of the people that you've worked with already, but I mean, you're talking about, obviously you've helped me out, but Fresh and Fit, Rollo Tomasi, Jay Waller, Sterling, all of these different guys, plus hundreds and hundreds of other guys, regular guys who are into your courses. I mean, how many have you taught now?
Over 10,000 people have taken our courses and services in the past. And we're going to have a really good chunk of people in this one. We have over 300 people in the course so far. I think we'll have a very good group here. And everybody who gets into the market, right, during these types of periods of time, tend to be the most successful in cryptocurrency. Because you're buying very, very low prices and there's a lot of upside from here. So the risk to reward is very good. But then also just in terms of mindset, they tend to be more value investors, which means they understand that it's fear. When there's fear in the market, that's the time to take advantage. And so that mindset really helps.
The smartest guys are getting in now and stuff like that. I mean, to tell you the truth, like I would really even recommend, just even if you don't have much capital to really invest right now, to just find a way to get in, because it is literally you're going to change your life, because we teach you how to fish. Basically, it's going to put you in a position where when you do have the capital to invest, you're not going to make a dumb decision. You're not going to be played like a fool, because a lot of people, when they enter the crypto, they don't know what they're doing and they get rinsed in the market pretty badly. I mean, once they deviate from the light, I guess from the light of God of Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff like that, it's a shitcoin world out there, right? And there are a lot of people. If you don't know what you're doing, you can mine the local high. It'll come down. You sell. Screw this stuff. Then you put your money. I mean, I've seen dudes in bull markets lose money. Incredible. It's almost unfathomable, really. It's you're like, I've seen people just blow the entire bags, just not knowing what they're doing, or they come in with capital and they're just really emotional because it's the first time they're investing and they just lose it all. Kids with no money make a ton of money in the crypto space and blow it all, and there's dudes that come in with a fortune and lose it all because they think they know anything. That's why we push education and stuff like that, and we teach you to get yourself to a point of like proficiency.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of pitfalls for sure. And do you have a record of how many millionaires you've made? Is that calculable?
Yeah, we don't what do you call it, KYC our guys in terms of doxing them and stuff, but we've had many of them reach out to us and be like, thank you so much. And this is the best thing. They're starting to mint. I guarantee you the millionaires that we have made, the ones that we're talking to, they have essentially started paying that information forward to their family, their friends, the people around them to help others, essentially. And one of the messages I received from one of those guys recently, he's in the Red Pill community. He jumps on our channel all the time. He basically said to us that he made multiple millions in the last bull market, and it was off of, I think, like a low six-figure amount. And he got recently helped get some of his friends into the market at very, very low prices. They're up based on the information that he's getting from us in the course and in our channels and our everything like that. And I think he said they put in some five-figure amounts. So what we tell people, right, is often when even if you're I would say if you're paying attention to the information we put out, you're getting in the course and basic stuff like that, you can add an extra zero to whatever amount of money you put into crypto. So this guy put in low six figures. He made multiple millions, right? His friends are putting in 5 figures. They're going to make 6 figures, multiple 6 figures during the next bull market. And that's a pretty easy goal to attain for most people. So that's what we like to see, continue to that ripple effect of positivity out there, because a lot of people are hurting for finance. We want to make sure everybody, gets in the same boat.
Yeah, for sure. Myron was saying he doubled his money, didn't he, basically? Or he went from 5 figures to 6 figures.
And he did a pretty conservative strategy with mainly Bitcoin, some Ethereum and stuff like that. And, so we give you different risk parameters too. Some people are more comfortable, right, with just sticking to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and they need to know strategy on timing and different things like that. And there's other people who want to get into, coins that'll make more returns. And so we help everybody out with the strategy that makes sense for their financial goals, essentially.
Shout out to Fresh. He likes to.
He's a little bit more degenerate. He's a little more degenerate,
man. Great stuff, guys. All right. Well, look, get in the course. It's open now. You've got until Friday at midnight. I've been spamming the link in the chat. It's in the description below. But I would highly recommend, as I say, that you jump on board with that. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Thanks ever so much for coming on. And hopefully we'll get to meet up in Vegas at some point in the not too distant future.
Beautiful, man. Just let us know, man. We'll cut a rug.
Good stuff, man. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to some cigars over there, man.
Hell yeah.
Man.
Good stuff. All right. See you soon, guys.